Hello everyone, it's Justine. Today I am going to be making a few cards with the new collection that Cathe Holden just released with Spellbinders. Now this is part of the flea market finds, so it's always kind of like a vintage look. So that's kind of the style that some of these cards are going to be made with, and I'm going to be making these cards with 3 specific products from her collection. Now I'm going to be working with the Petite Patterns paper pad. I'll put a picture of all these products on the screen as I am talking. So that paper pad is a larger one, so it can be used for more just A2 size cards, maybe some 5x7s even. And then I'm using the Coat Check Miscellany printed die cuts, so that has a lot of these little tags. And then I'm also using the Stationer's Boutique sticker pad, which was kind of fun because I love incorporating stickers into card making because they already are sticky and they kind of work like a die cut piece, so that's fun. I used one border sticker from that pack on this card, and look how pretty that paper is. It's just stunning. Now, all of the cards that I'm showing today aren't really cards that have one specific theme. They're not going to be like screaming birthday or thank you, but they all have a vintage look, which I think is really kind of fun and different from some of the other things that are out there for card making. So here we are just making some vintage cards. So my next piece that I'm going to put on here, I have to remember my placement. It's going to be kind of like this, and then okay, so my overall layout is going to be something like this, but I want to make sure that I have room for everything. So I'm just going to put this aside here. Now you might notice that this piece here is kind of a vintage, decrepit looking. Decrepit sounds bad, but it's been well loved. A worn look, and it did not come that way. It came nice and flat, but because I wanted it to look like it had been shoved in someone's pocket because it says Coat Check, I thought it would be kind of cute to give it that worn look. So I went ahead and just kind of scuffed it up and crumpled it up in my hand a few times, and I'll kind of show you here what that might look like in a minute, but it was kind of a fun little process that I ended up working with. Now we have a sign here that says Jewelers. This is looks like a hotel, advertising a hotel room. This is for a stove, and then we have Coat Checks. So there's really, again, no cohesive theme to this card. It's really just all about the vintage look, which is really neat. I really am kind of digging this style. So I'm putting everything down basically with liquid adhesive. I like to use a Barely Art liquid adhesive, but for that green Coat Check piece, I am going to use some foam squares just to keep the dimension alive. You can see it is really crumpled. So I literally just crumpled it in my hand like so, and really just kind of made sure that there wasn't any one part of the piece that was flat and ended up with something that like this. Again, I wanted it to look like it was shoved in someone's pocket. They had a wonderful time at this party. They were dancing, who knows, right? And now they are emptying their pockets, and they have their little hotel room key, and they have their Coat Check that has been crumpled up. So here we are adding it to the card, and I'm going to use these foam squares just to keep that dimension because we don't want to lose that worn look. I'm just trying to add it to the places where I think would be the lower areas. It looks like it's going to end up being about 6. Now I am going to have, I think, 8 cards on this video. I'm just going to show you how I'm putting together 2 of them, and then at the very end I will show you the rest of the cards that I made. And I have those all planned out, and I have a ton of materials left over. So I really think that this collection is a pretty good bang for your buck if you're looking for something that's a little more vintage and just kind of different. This is perfect. All right. I'll just grab my reverse tweezers and stick it on. I'm going to have it go on kind of wonky or sideways here because, again, it just should look like it's been emptied out. Oh, I love that. How fun. And I still have my sweet little bird. Can't cover him up. Anyway, there is the first card. Great. Oh, let's bend that corner up a little more, you know. I have heard of some people, I've watched a few people on YouTube to make things look even more vintage, use some distress ink or distress oxide, especially the one called Vintage Photo. That seems to be a really popular one for distressing things, so that's kind of fun. This collection kind of reminded me of the Tim Holtz collection, where, you know, his stuff is a little more like rugged, if you will, or just kind of vintagey. And I was looking at some of his stuff at Hobby Lobby recently, and I just was kind of inspired to make some cards here. Now, this piece was not part of the paper pad. It actually was the die cut shape wrapper. So you can see here, this was what actually came to me. And I thought that this was so pretty. Why throw it away? Let's turn it into a card. So that's what I'm doing. I cut it down to be 4 by 5 1/4. So I still have that black border going around my card. And just like that, boom, I have a background. How exciting. And now this paper is more than just trash. You know, it's exciting. It's wonderful. Anyway, here we go. Now I'm going to add even more layers on top of this card just to give it some more dimension and some more color. Something kind of like this. Now I think with these I am going to distress these as well. So I'm just going to kind of crumple them up and chat with you for just a minute. I hope everyone is doing well. I know that there are a few people that watch every single video that I put out, so if that's you, please go ahead and leave me a comment. Let me know how your March is going. So far, I'm filming this at the beginning of March, and it's been a nice little break. We have midwinter break at school, so I'm actually home on one of my working days, which seems really odd and backwards for me, but here we are. I'm loving a little break, but I do miss my kindergartners. It's so weird. Every time we have a break, I'm like, oh, I wonder what they're up to today. We'd be working on our math page, or we'd be strengthening their hand strength with Play-Doh right now, or they'd be in music class, whatever it might be. I just think about them. But anyway, I'm also preparing my future students for next year with hosting a kindergarten roundup at the end of March. So when this video goes up, I think it'll be in like 2 or 3 days. So that's really exciting, and looks like I'll have a good group coming in. So that's wonderful. And my husband is still doing some remodeling in our living room. So currently we have 2 walls that are completely ripped apart, and he has been working on adding some insulation, which is just wonderful because in Minnesota, the weather does not play around. It is cold. So that's been wonderful. I think he's going to work on the ceiling soon and work with some electrical since the wall just happens to be open. It's kind of convenient. But otherwise, everything's been going well, and I'm looking forward to spring, you know. But I'm up in my new craft room here, and it is just like kind of a treat to be able to sit at my desk here and scrunch up this paper and look out a window. So I guess overall in March, I am feeling blessed. There's a phrase that says too blessed to be stressed. Sometimes I'm a little stressed, but today I'm feeling too blessed to be stressed. Also, I've had caffeine. So that might might affect things, you know. Anywho, I'm gonna put these on and just kind of have them be haphazardly placed, but or I guess it will look haphazardly placed, but I am going to be mindful about colors. So I am going to put the black piece here, and then I have another darker piece, so I'm going to make sure that goes somewhere over here, but otherwise it is just going to look like a little vintage moment here of some odds and ends. Okay. I love the way that these look when they're all distressed. It's just really fun. I'm just going to quickly chat about the description of this video down below. I will have all of her collection linked in one general link, so you can find anything really. Anyway, you can find anything that is part of her collection in that link. And then I do have some other links that are down there for just like card making in general. But if you look closely, I will have a Facebook group link in the description, and I really love my Facebook group. I am an admin for a Spellbinders kind of like enthusiast group, and there are so many wonderful people who post on that group and share inspiration. So if you are a Spellbinders person, or you're just interested in seeing what other people are making with cards in general, go ahead and click the link to that Facebook group and request to join, and you will be hopefully really inspired, and I would love to see what you are making. If you are a card maker, I want to know what you're making, what are you up to. It's a pretty lovely group, so check it out if you are a Facebook person or want inspiration, I guess. Anyway, this is kind of like a card kit with all of the little bits and bobs. So if you're interested in knowing like card kit processes, or just really anything related to putting die cuts together or anything like that, I do have a video that just went up on my channel at the beginning of this month that was all about how I go through a card kit. So check out that video. It is rather long, so grab a snack and just kind of hopefully be inspired. Now, for whatever reason, this isn't quite laying the way I wanted it to, so I am just kind of moving things around and making it look as kind of randomly placed as possible. To me, I am satisfied with the way that looks. Now that I am finished making both of these cards, I will show you the rest of the cards that I made with this collection. So here's a look at those cards. They are just really fun and different, a little bit vintage and kind of funky for my style, and I really am loving making these up. So again, with making all of these cards, I used 3 things from her collection. I used the Petite Patterns paper pad, the Coat Check Miscellany printed die cuts, and the Stationer's Bouquet sticker pad. I thought the sticker pad was really fun, but I think from the whole collection, my favorite part that I was working with was the Petite Patterns paper pad. I think that a great pattern paper really can make a whole card just so pretty, and I just love paper in general. As a paper crafter, I think that you can transform paper so much by doing just a little bit to it, and adding stickers and die cut shapes is a great way to do that. So I am just thrilled and loving this style. I also have the Mini Envelopes 1 and Mini Envelopes 2 from this collection. So I haven't used those yet. I am looking forward to using those soon. So if you're interested in seeing something with those dies, please leave me a comment and I will maybe make a YouTube video about that. Otherwise, I'll just make it for fun and probably post pictures of my creations on that Facebook group, but only time will tell of what will actually happen. So Anywho, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I hope you get to craft soon and check out Cathe Holden's new collection. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in my next video. Bye!